Hello and welcome to my trophy guide for Final Fantasy XVI. In this guide I will show you how to obtain all 50 trophies in the easiest and most time-efficient way possible. This guide can be followed by anyone and you do not have to bring any prior knowledge with you. However, I highly suggest you go and watch episode 0 of this guide, where I explain many details behind my routing and give additional information. After opening the game, it will direct you through its settings, which you can adjust to your liking. I have kept the default settings. Then choose Story Focused as your difficulty and start the game. There exists only one trophy for completing the game on a certain difficulty, but we only unlock that difficulty by completing the game once. So we will complete all collectibles and miscellaneous tasks on the lowest difficulty to save time and of course to make it easier. As you will quickly notice, this game is extremely cutscene heavy. About 2/3 of the game are cutscenes. I have cut out all cutscenes that can be skipped for this guide. This opening sequence serves as an introductory combat section, but you do not actually have to do anything. Just let it play out to reach the tutorial segment. While we are going through this, I will quickly go over the episode structure of this guide. I have found it most convenient to just break both playthroughs into one episode for each chapter, resulting in 12 and 11 episodes for the first and second playthrough respectively. That is why the length of these episodes will vary quite a bit. The early episodes will be around an hour in length, while the later ones will reach up to 2+ hours.
Yes, Sergeant.
I said focus, Wyvern!
Use the Alt stick to move and the R stick to look around. If you have played any game ever, you probably know most of these controls already, but I will still go over them as they are so conveniently presented. Note that you can at any time access the settings by pressing the Options button if you want to change something. For the remainder of the introduction, you can just follow me till we reach the combat tutorial.
You don't get to die here, Wyvern! Move!
Right on top of us.
Anytime, Wyvern!
The combat is a major focus point of this game and there is a lot to it. but the game introduces most of these aspects over time. For now, we only go over the basics. Feel free to read the in-game tutorials as well. Pressing square will have you perform an attack with your sword. We can chain attacks into combos of 4. For now, this is our most powerful means of offense. We can also press triangle to shoot magic projectiles. This has long-range capabilities but is generally a lot weaker than attacks with your sword. I will only use this later to pick off enemies that are low on health and far away.
Now let them burn without. Come, Clive! Rain fire down upon me! Excellent! Well done!
You evade attacks by pressing R1. Evading just before you get hit will result in a precision dodge, which slows down time for a few seconds and lets you deal some damage for free.
Can be arranged. Let's see if you can elude my blade. After all, your attacking prowess will count for naught if you don't live long enough to use it. On your toes, Lord Rossfield. Nice try! How did you dodge that? I was sure I had you.
That was amazing!
Good.
Pressing circle lets you perform your iconic feat. For now you only have the icon of fire, which grants you the Phoenix Shift ability. Pressing circle has you rush towards your target enemy. This is also much more effective at dealing with distant enemies than using magic. Do note that you are still vulnerable during Phoenix Shift. Shifting through attacks is not a thing, so do not use it during fights you are unfamiliar with while you are already low on health.
Well, I'm waiting. Impressive.
Finally, you can press up or right on the D-pad to use potions. These restore some of your health. High potions restore more health, but are also less common, and you can hold not as many as regular potions. You can see your health in the top left of the screen. Use potions when you drop to low health and your health turns a red color. Potions are generally spread throughout the game, so you should never run low on them. More on this later as well.
Now that won't do at all. That's better. Battle is a succession of pivotal moments, wherein life and death can be decided at a single stroke. You must be ready to utilize every tool at your disposal if you are to navigate a path to victory, or at the very least, to ensure that you live to fight another day. Enough practice. It's time for the test. You've recovered from your soaking, I trust. You wouldn't want to kick a man while he's drowned.
I thought you'd never ask.
Come then, Lord Rossfield. Spar with me. If you believe yourself worthy to be called Shield of the Flame, then prove it.
As you wish, my lord.
Now we have to take on the Lord Commander. This fight teaches you about 2 more things. Some enemies do not only have health, represented by a red health bar above them, but also posture, represented by a yellow bar beneath their health. Almost all attacks in the game deal more posture damage, also called stun by the game, resulting in the posture bar getting depleted faster. When it reaches 0, the enemy will get staggered and be unable to move for some time. It will also take more damage during this window. The other noteworthy thing is that of iconic abilities. Right now you have 1 equipped. By holding R2 and pressing square, you will perform the Rising Flames ability. For now, you just need to know that this deals a lot more damage than your melee attacks, but also has a cooldown of 20 seconds. After this you can just follow the red story markers to progress the narrative, and I will see you when we enter Stillwind.
I'm not sure. I need to speak with Father.
Nice and quiet in here, isn't it? There's Joshua.
Do you understand? The power of the Phoenix dwells within Joshua, and Joshua, if any ill should
Now, before we continue, I want you to copy some things. I will explain this after I'm done. Open your menu by pressing the Options button and open the Gear and Icons tab. Right now we have 2 accessories equipped. Choose the Ring of Timely Focus and change it to the Ring of Timely Evasion. Then unequip the Ring of Timely Strikes by pressing triangle. Now go to the Abilities tab and learn Charged Magic. The following combat encounters have you fight against some goblins. These are very weak and can be dealt with quite easily. The fastest way is to use Rising Flames whenever possible to one-shot a goblin. While we wait for it to recharge, we can maximize our damage output by executing the regular 4-hit melee combo followed by a charged magic shot. This deals the most damage with the least downtime between maneuvers. To do this, you have to press square for the melee attacks while you hold triangle to charge your magic. Let go of triangle as the 4th hit connects, perform your charged shot and repeat. Press circle to use the Phoenix shift whenever an enemy is too far away. To press both square and triangle at once, you will either have to do the claw grip or change your button layout in the settings. Note that, of course, you do not have to do this. This is faster if you know what you're doing. If you're struggling with it, then it's faster to just spam square and occasionally use Rising Flames and Phoenix shift. As for the accessories, I went over all the timely accessories in episode 0, so feel free to check that out. If you don't want to, then just copy my choices. Just know that the Ring of Timely Evasion is extremely overpowered, having you automatically evade any and all attacks unless you are stuck in an animation. Note that Phoenix Shift does count as such an animation. You won't be able to dodge attacks while you perform it. There's just 2 more things I want to mention until we reach the first mini-boss, and that is 2 of the combat trophies which are now available. By pressing square or triangle right after a Phoenix shift, you will perform a shift strike or shift shot respectively. Landing 15 of those cumulatively unlocks the Sheathed trophy. And when knocking away an enemy with the final hit of a melee combo, you will be able to form a mortal blow while they are down. Doing this 10 times will unlock the Punisher trophy. I unlock both of these trophies throughout the first episodes of this guide by just playing normally, so do not worry about these. I would be very surprised if you did not pick them up passively.
We should be nearing the old village square.
It might not be enough. Care to thin the herd?
As if you have to ask.
And there was one.
Here we face our first formidable foe. I will just call these mini-bosses from now on. They aren't unique enemies, but they do have stagger bars and generally a lot more health. Always focus on these first if you come across a horde of enemies with one of them in there. Our tactic here is the same as with the regular enemies though. Use Rising Flames whenever possible and otherwise do your regular combo. It is generally better to use your Eikon abilities whenever they are up, instead of saving them for when the enemy is staggered, at least for now. A stagger lasts a little over 10 seconds and your Eikon ability has a 20-second cooldown, so in most cases it will be back up during the stagger. You also do not want to get into the habit of just holding all your abilities until the boss is staggered, since with later mini-bosses and most bosses, it will take quite a while to stagger them. You can use Eikon abilities with a short cooldown several times before they get staggered. Not doing so will just end up losing you damage. What you can do, however, is hold your iconic abilities when the boss is very close to being stunned. This fight also teaches us about partial staggers, but that is not of interest to us just yet. After the fight, we will also pick up some gear. You can change gear in your Gear and Icons menu. I will only ever change my weapon. I have died only a handful of times, all of which were on the highest difficulty while being greedy with Eikon abilities, so I highly doubt going for higher health or defense would be much worth it.
There he is!
Damn it!
This is our first boss fight. Again, it plays out exactly as our previous fights, just that this one has even more health. It also teaches you about a new mechanic. Many bosses have scripted sequences during their fight. Throughout those, you will have to perform quick-time events, or QTEs in short, to avoid taking damage or deal extra damage to the boss. They are always the same, so feel free to check my footage first. You are also always given a generous window of time to react. Press square to perform a cinematic strike and press R1 to perform cinematic evasion. During most of the early boss fights, performing these will also leave the boss stunned.
Where's it going?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Don't!
Before it recovers! Won't be gone for long. I cannot fall here. Now for the final push, my lord.
You lose!
Travel to Phoenix Gate and we will now play as Joshua. This is the only time we play as him, so do not worry too much about memorizing his controls, although they are quite simple. Press triangle to perform a strong charged magic shot and press square to perform a fiery melee attack that can hit multiple enemies at once. go through this short section until we are back to playing as Clive.
I'm afraid so, Your Highness. We must hurry. What was that?
I have to help them. Everything's on fire.
Fall back, Your Highness! He's not one of us!
No, I must do my duty.
Who goes there?
Damn it! The bastards are everywhere.
Why would the Empire do this? They're our allies.
I have the dominant. Vigilance, Your Highness.
Now follow me through the remainder of this enemy sequence. Since there is a bit of downtime here, I will quickly go over potions again. While you will later have the ability to purchase potions, I actually will not do so until we reach our second playthrough. That is because I found the randomly scattered potions to be enough of a source of healing. Items are indicated by shining pillars of light lying on the floor. But of course you can purchase potions every time we are in the hideaway. They do come at a price, but money is practically useless in this game anyways. You get a lot of it and there is very little we do with it.
You take care of that spellcaster. I'll keep the others occupied. That's them done. Are you all right?
I'm fine. It's my father and Joshua I'm worried about. We should head back.
Here we face our next boss, the Knight of the Blinding Dawn. This enemy is quite fast and will teach you that against some enemies you will have to pay more attention when it comes to performing your iconic abilities. That is because of two reasons. For one, performing your ability during their attacks will result in you getting hit. But what's even worse is that if you use them as the enemy is moving around, you might miss them entirely. Here it is beneficial to get a feeling for when the enemy is open for attacks. Most of the time that is after one of their attacks. Here you can, for example, easily hit them once they landed after their jump or double jump attack.
He's open! Now, Clive! Have at it!
You're going to regret that, boy. To send rag.
These fights have much more simplified controls. During this fight, we only have to aim with the L stick and shoot fire projectiles with triangle. You can also evade by pressing R1, but the Ring of Time evasion is still active here, meaning you will evade most attacks automatically. This fight is timed, meaning you could technically fail it by not dealing enough damage in time. However, you have a lot of time to the point that you will actually hit a damage cap before reaching the final phase. This will sometimes happen if the boss drops to an amount of health that would normally trigger the next phase, but is not ready yet because it's staggered or stuck in an animation. It will simply become invulnerable during that time window. Another thing to note for boss fights is that there are checkpoints. Most fights are divided into multiple subsections. If you die and choose to retry from the game over screen, you will be put back at the start of the last subsection you reached. Defeating the second icon of fire will finish the chapter and this episode. You will pick up the corresponding trophy at the beginning of the next episode. I will see you then.